Red pill filled with use some of my photos. Red pill filled.
Yes, people, how we doing? Hope you're doing all right. I got this link sent from the lovely Brit Girl. Thank you very much, Brit Girl. This is a street where this chap seems to be a local resident who's noticed something very strange. Who's noticed people in army fatigues and visvests doing door to door in his area. So this guy has gone over to question them. The thought of the army actually going door to door, it's like tyrannical light, isn't it? I mean, it looks so innocent, this now. But the mere thought of it, the mere thought of the army assisting local councils in order what it looks like to possibly slightly intimidate people to get tested for COVID. Is that an assumption? Is that an accusation? That's how it looks. So I'm going to play some of this video and you see what you think, guys.
Yeah, I'm just walking on Station Road now. There's three people on high-vis, two in army gear. Good afternoon, how you doing, right?
Yes, good, thanks, how are you?
What are you guys doing on the streets, if you don't mind me asking?
Birmingham City Council, we're just supporting them, handing out COVID tests,
For what reason?
just to give people a chance to test themselves in the house.
Can I ask you a question? I'm a citizen of Handsworth and I live in this community. I just want to know, and I'm recording this for my safety and your safety also, why is the need to have the army on our streets and knocking on people's doors and to see if they want to be tested?
We're just here to support the council and hand them out,
But why the army?
just to support. That's all we're here for, just to support the council and help hand out tests.
Why are the army supporting the council? Are the council that deficient in a few staff? You tell me. Is there any on furlough that could be actually doing something? Maybe, maybe not. So couldn't the council have found 3 people from the council to do this job? Now, the fact that they're assisting the council, okay. Why are you in army fatigues? You're in the army. But why does it have to be apparent? Why aren't you wearing civvies? What's that going to look like when someone opens the door and they see members of the army talking about testing? Is that going to intimidate them? And I'm not saying these guys are doing it to intimidate them. They look like decent, average, young individuals who want a career in the army. Fair play to them. Do they know what they're actually doing, what they're representing, and what that means when they turn up at someone's door? Have they actually mentally thought, what's it going to look like? Is that going to have any more gravitas than 2 people in civvies? You're going to look at it, it's just like a policeman, isn't it? You're going to position of authority almost. So it's like you're going to take it a bit more seriously. Is that the reason why they've done this? Or are they just out of manpower that they've decided now, well, let's get the army involved? This doesn't look good. And this guy's got every right to not be freaked out, but to critique it.
But if people want to have tests, surely that's their discretion. If they can go voluntarily to any sort of centres to have tested. So why knock on people's doors?
It's just to give them the option. They don't have to take it, they can just take it if they want.
And whose directive is this?
Birmingham City Council.
Birmingham City Council. And where's Birmingham City Council got this directive from?
I'm not sure, sorry.
And also, just to say, if you do come knocking on my door and I refuse, is there any repercussions to that?
Of course not, no, it's entirely up to yourself.
Well, okay. There might be no repercussions. Is it going to get duly noted that you wasn't playing the game, though? Because that is a different matter. I don't know. See, the thing is, when the fear creeps in with all this, it leaves it open for conspiracy, for people to jump to the furthest extreme of what these guys represent. And that's dangerous ground, because as much as he's trying to be helpful here, he's not allaying anyone's fears. But from the looks of these two, they're very young. These look like they're just almost stooges. Just go out and do it. Treated like a mushroom, fed bullshit and kept in the dark. That's what it seems. Why are the Air Force giving out COVID tests? I don't get it. Logistically, certainly the Army, the Air Force, the Navy will be very useful in many different things. But this? Is this a bit overboard?
And how do you guys feel? I assume you're part of the British Army?
The Air Force.
You are, the Air Force, yeah? And how do you guys feel knocking on people's doors?
Well, I don't answer more questions, but we're just here to support, but thank you.
Yeah, but surely, I mean, you know, you're here to, you know, this is a democratic country that we live in, yes? And it's a free country. Do you not think this is a bit draconian in terms of what you guys are doing?
I'm not answering more questions, sorry, but we're just here to support, but thank you.
See, he's getting uncomfortable now, the guy, because he can't go there, because he probably, on an intellectual level, he can't answer the questions anyway. So if that is the case, then, sir, when, I know it's hard, but have you got a right when your superiors, and probably this ain't going to happen because I'm a dreamer, but he should realise the gravitas of doing this. So when these certain questions have been posed to him now, shouldn't he have actually thought about this, thought of the consequences? And, you know, if he's taking orders, maybe he can't turn around this to his superior and say, well, this ain't a good idea. You know, maybe he can't. But the bottom line is he's got to appreciate how wrong this looks. And as nice and as helpful as he is trying to explain, he's come to a full stop now. And that full stop's going to leave a big gaping gap for people to do their own thinking on this.
So you're only here to support?
We're here to support the
Yeah.
council, yes.
Is there any legal right that you can actually go around knocking on people's doors?
I'm not answering any more questions.
Well, it's not very good. Like I said, I'm not happy as a citizen of Handsworth, you know, and I'm one of the residents around here. And if I do see anybody, any people that I know, I would tell them to refuse to open their doors, because I think it's an absolute liberty of people's civil rights and taking away our freedoms. This is absolute tyranny. Having the army on the streets, yeah? Having the army on the streets. No, listen, I'm saying, having the army on the streets is absolute tyranny. And you guys really should be ashamed of yourselves doing this, you know that? It's absolutely disgusting. Is this what this country's come to now? Absolutely disgraceful. Knocking on people's doors to ask if they want to be tested. There's nothing wrong with people. If people want to get tested, they can go to these test centres if they want to.
The man's got a point. He's totally disarmed them to the point where none of them can actually logically think about what they're doing. That's what this man has presented to them. And this is a worrying thing, that you've got people with IQ that are doing things just because they've been told to do it. They cease to think, they cease to have an opinion, and this man has highlighted how ridiculous, how overboard, how draconian, let's use that word, how slightly tyrannical, how sinister this is. When you've got members of the army that are going to knock on to citizens of the country of all demographics, all ages. How are they going to react to two members of the army doing a job that the average council worker should be doing? What is that? That ain't just lending a hand, is it?
This is intimidation. You know that. Absolute tyranny. And mark my words, we'll be getting the words out. Taking orders from on high. So this is Station Road, people. They're going out knocking on people's doors, asking if they want to have voluntary tests. And we don't even know what these tests are.
What do vets think about this? Is this a good, adequate use of the military services? The worrying thing about this, and the young, but this is dangerous. Because when you've got people that will just gladly take orders and do as they're told, logical or illogical, what would they be doing in another country if they was given the order to do something just as fucked up? Just go and do it. So that this makes me think, man, I love our military. I love the fact that they've defended us. But I also think, man, are you just mugs? And I'm sorry if that comes across wrong, but what are you doing? Because clearly here, what seems to be showing is that the military in this case are working against the people. They're not working for the people. And these two can't even intellectually see that. And this guy's got on it.
We don't know what they're for. So please, I say to the community of Handsworth, do not open your doors. And if you do open your doors, politely tell them to go away. Yeah. How are you, brother? You okay? Yeah. So I'm just recording these army people on the street.
I've just put the pictures up on the group chat.
Oh, have you? Okay. Well, listen, I've just spoken to them. I've recorded them. So we just need to get the word out to people, not to open doors. No problem. Listen, let's just see what they've got to say anyways. They haven't said much anyways.
Are they doing COVID testing now?
I'm not too sure. I'll ask them. Just tell them to go away. Tell them you don't want to test. This is all against the law.
Oh, look, there's more on the other side of the road. So this is a full rollout, isn't it?
Coming around knocking on people's doors. How dare you taking civil liberties out of people's knocking on people's doors? Well, you shouldn't be asking people, madam, shut your door and tell them no. Right? This is a piss take. The army on the streets. You should be ashamed of yourselves. This is Britain, not fucking communist China.
They've got all the useful idiots, haven't they? They've got all the young kids that don't even know their ass from their elbow. All they want is a career. And look at him. Look at his face. He has got no clue of the ramifications, the consequences of him doing this. Beating down people, having the look of people in fatigues, pretty much passively bullying you into taking a test. Because why are you going to tell the army you don't want a test? People may have the right, and I don't think these are aggressively forcing people.
Just politely say no, madam. Yeah, you all need to get off the streets. All of you.
Why?
Why? Because you're taking the piss, that's why. Knocking on people's doors, it's a liberty. Don't just say no. Don't open your doors and tell them piss off. They've got no right coming around here knocking on people's doors. This is a liberty.
This man has got it in him now. And fair play, he's marshalling the street. And we've got to remember, guys, this has never happened before. We don't normally have this go on in our communities. So we've got to treat it as what the fuck is going on here. Not just stand back and go, oh, right, well, you know, better put your mask on. And this is what the government, the establishment want. They want you just to be off the bat complicit and just go with it.
Yeah, you all need to get off the roads, get off the streets and stop knocking on people's doors. Tell them no, love, if they come knocking on your door. Who the bloody hell do you think you are? I'm a citizen of this fucking country, that's who I am, mate. I'm a tax-paying individual. Okay. Well, yeah, you got no right going around knocking on people's doors.
What, giving a free COVID test?
Yes. If people want to have a COVID test, they can go on their own free will. We don't need people like you knocking on people's doors.
Okay.
No, do one.
Okay.
Because there'll be many more of us on the streets.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Fucking goodbye.
Do you see how passive that come across? What, giving out free COVID tests? Like they're not doing anything wrong. Just like when you get a mobile phone and you realise that thing is a surveillance tool that is really analysing everything you do and your patterns. But yeah, it's a mobile phone. You can speak to anyone around the world. You can listen to music. You can watch videos. And it's the same attitude. It's like They present it as just an innocent thing, but look at what they're fucking doing. Yeah, you've got the army that are now going to start giving out these. What's going to now happen? Inevitably, these are all going to go back. Can we trust and verify that these tests are going to be done properly and adequately? Can we verify that the actual COVID is the COVID that we need to worry about right now? We can't. We're just going to have to give that back and then assume that they're going to do the right thing with it. And honestly, history is telling me I can't trust these people just off the bat like that. Okay? I'm not saying the liars. I'm saying this is sinister. Over the past couple of months, we've seen deaths, fear factor, deaths. Now the deaths has dropped down. So what's the new fear factor? Cases. So how can they get more cases? By testing more people. Even though you'll get more cases, the deaths are going down. Herd immunity may be working. It's certainly not as bad. But yet they won't tell you that because they want to nudge you near. Oh, more cases. There's more cases. There's more fucking cases. So good on this geezer. If people don't wise up and get a bit mentally stronger now and learning to intellectualize back what is going on, we're lambs to the slaughter. You can't expect a few people to do this job. This is going to take the strength and the intellectuality of the population. Not just one or two people that are going to stand up and, hey, no, you need everyone waking the fuck up and got people who just are walking, going about the business. And I could understand why they're here. They've never been awake in their life. They've been going along to get along. They've never questioned. They just go along to get along, and seemingly it works for them. They see that shit happens, but they don't question it. Now, all of a sudden, we've got what is regarded as a pandemic, plandemic, scandemic, whatever you want to call it. This is now our reality. For the first time, you should be questioning everything that is going on now. Not putting anyone in danger, not trying to encourage anything that's going to put anyone in danger. But at the same time, analysing what is not right, what is hypocritical in all this. And when you can see that the death rate is certainly not as high as what they would like you to believe. So you've got a population of people that all of a sudden, they can't red pill, they can't intellectualise this, but yet you've got the establishments, you've got the army telling you how serious it is. So they're going to fall for it. They're going to go, oh, well, we better do everything to make sure. And it's like, are you that much of a sucker? Because that's all it boils down to. You're an intellectual sucker. And when you've got people like that, we are lambs to the slaughter. Because it means a simple game of Simon Says. Simon Says, stand on one leg. This population stand on one leg. Simon Says, stand on one leg, but then put one hand in the air. And they'll put one hand in the air. Simon Says, stand on one leg, put one hand in the air, and tickle your fucking belly button at the same time. And that's exactly what's going on now. You've got a population that don't understand, can't articulate it, can't fucking interpret it because they've never been red pilled before. So they're just being complicit. They're being gamed. And then the authorities, the establishment have got the cheek to go, well, anyone who says anything different is a fucking conspiracy theorist. Seriously? When the death count rises adequately to the point where it does look like this is spreading throughout all demographics, all ages, indiscriminately, then I'll take the fucking test, okay? Until then, we know that we've got a small percentage, a very small percentage of catching this. I've got a higher percentage of getting cancer right now. And we all know that. Thanks to Brit Gill for sending me this clip. Thanks for giving me an anxiety frigging avalanche now. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to go and lie down upstairs in the oxygen tank and try and get my head together. Stick my headphones on. But guys, just don't fall for this, okay? The army The sight of the army on the streets is a bad symbol, and it's unnecessary. There's no justification. We've not got the plague. People are not dropping like flies. This is one scare story that they're trying to ramp up, as far as I'm concerned. Love you all.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.